Hello and welcome to ACenterA Cloud SQL. We all know that management of databases isn't an easy task. Ensuring that your database is up and running, that you have proper backups, that you can scale at any time is really time consuming. Our product allows you to do all of that with simple clicks. In this demo, you will see how easy it is to create your first database. So let's get started. In case that you don't have an account yet, let's go through the registration process. First, let's click on Register, and then make sure to read the Terms of Services. Type in your email address and enter your password that you want to use. Enter the CAPTCHA code and then click on Register. Once the system logs you in, you will have to choose your region. You have multiple regions you can use. Sometimes some region will be disabled. After that, all you have to do is to click on App or Database. On this next step, you may choose your application. In this case, we just want that database. Then you have to tell us about your database configuration. You may want to choose your own database name. In our case, we'll call it ACenterA. You can also specify your own database username and passwords, or you can use the auto-generated feature. You may now choose the size of your database that will fit your needs. Each of the sizes have its own monthly pricing and hourly pricing, so let's use a small instance for now. We currently support two types of databases, Postgres or MySQL. We're now ready to go to the last step to create our database. In this last step, let's first create a cluster name. In our case, let's name it My First Cluster SQL. After that, you have to fill the DNS field, which will be used to connect to your database. You may look at the summary table to validate that all the information is correct, such as the DNS entry for your master or the one for your slave. Also, the region. The other section is for your database. It tells you the database type, what will be the database names, what are its configuration. You may choose if you want read servers or not. The pricing will also update. If something is not correct, you may click on Change in order to modify the database options. The next section is for applications. Once you are happy with that configuration, you may create your database. Our platform will notify you of its progress. The process will take a few minutes to run. While we are waiting, let's talk about SQL service that exists today. Until lately, Amazon does not offer MySQL replication. Now that they are offering MySQL replication, they pretty much have all the features you need. The main issue that you will have with Amazon RDS is the pricing, I will say. Also, because you don't have access to the SQL server, you cannot run some special commands such as select into altval or to change the database time zone. Even though changing the time zone isn't recommended for the cloud, you should use UTC for your application. Google Cloud SQL also have the same problem. But the main difference is that Google Cloud SQL don't support MySQL replication from your home server to Google Cloud or from your Google Cloud instance into your home server, which will be from another provider. So why use ACenterA Cloud SQL? Well, basically one of the big factors here is the pricing. Amazon RDS and Cloud SQL is quite expensive. Also the support cost if you need faster turnaround. We can also offer you DBA services. Sometimes your database will get slower and slower as you get more data. Amazon and Google don't offer DBA services unless you use some of their third-party partners. The other advantage that we offer is that we're not tied to one cloud. It is true that our solution right now supports only DigitalOcean offering. As the company grows, we will add other cloud providers and also support your own private cloud. What else that ACenterA offers? Well, we want to make sure that you concentrate yourself on building your new application or the next feature for your clients. So we will make sure that your service is up and running once it is in production. So this leaves you all the time to find new clients and get more money. All this with affordable cost, because we all know that in the cloud these days, everything is getting cheaper and cheaper. Also, if you are a small startup or even a small business, you don't have necessarily the people with enough operation experience in order to make sure that your system will stay up and running and that your customer will be happy. So we will make sure all of that happen and that you keep your customers and you grow. As your business grow, we will grow. The last thing that we'll add before the Cloud SQL instance is ready is that our portal offers you all the tools that you need to manage your database instance. We also provide basic statistics about how your database performs. You should not need any extra application in order to understand how your database performs. Our application collects metrics about your server information and databases. So here we go. The database instance is going to be ready in a few seconds. As you can see now, you have all the information about your database information. You may click on this in order to get more detailed information about your server. You get the memory usage, the OS is running on, the disk space, and also the network information that you might need. If we go back to the proofs page, you see at the bottom all the database information that you need. So you have the DNS name, the username, and also its password, and the information about the read user too. So now let's take a small look about some other feature of the website. So if you go in Sql Explorer, Sql Explorer is basically like an access to your database. So you can use the write or the read access. If we use the write access, you may be able to create new tables or other things like that. So in this case, let's create a new table on the ACenterA database. Let's call this table user with 2 columns. We will create an ID field and a name as voucher. And then we click on save in order to create it. That's it, you have your first table. So let's just insert some entries in that table to see that it works. So let's insert that row into the table now. Here we go. Now let's see if we can do the same thing with the read-only access. So we're going to do the same thing. Click on the database, set the table, try to insert a row. Oh, as we can see, we have an error here where it says that we don't have the permissions right. So we're on the read-only user. As you can see, it is really easy to create your first MySQL instance. In next sessions, we'll show you how you can do scaling using the database configuration tab. Hopefully you enjoyed our demo about the ACenterA Cloud SQL product, and we're looking forward you subscribe to our service. Just make sure to visit our website at www.acentera.com and subscribe.